What's up, guys? Welcome to April 8th. As we as today is the day where the solar eclipse happened. If you have a chance to see it, I think it will be really cool. I think in Indiana it gets like 97% of it, which I think is really unique. But the thing is like there's this whole theory going about saying like some people believe that Jesus is coming back today, and the thing is like, and they did like scientific research about it. But the thing is like, the Bible literally says Jesus will come back when we least expected him to come back, and so it doesn't make any sense for Jesus to come back today if there are a lot of us who thinks that like today is the day when Jesus comes back. I'm not saying that Jesus won't come at all. Like that's not what I'm saying. I believe he will come back. He could be coming back today, but it's unlikely for me to believe that he'll come back today than another day. But yeah, all that to say is like that does not matter as because like in daily we should be living a life for God on a daily basis, not on the days when Jesus returns. But anyways, that's kind of like a short intro as to April 8th. But today we'll be diving into Ruth chapter 4 verses 13, where it talks about the descendants of Boaz. So, and then we'll be kind of jumping. So today we'll finish with Ruth, and then we will kind of get into the Chronicles to kind of like, I guess, like to kind of do that like a family tree basically. So yeah. So Boaz took Ruth into his home, and she became his wife. When he slept with her, the Lord enabled her to become pregnant, and she gave birth to a son. Then the woman of the town said to Naomi, "Praise the Lord, who has now provided a redeemer for your family. May this child be famous in Israel. May he restore your youth and care for you in your old age, for he is the son of your daughter-in-law who loves you and has been better to you than 7 sons." Naomi took the baby and cuddled him to her breast, and she cared for him as if he were her own. The neighbor woman said, "Now at last Naomi has a son again," and they named him Obed. He became the father of Jesse and the grandfather of David. This is the genealogical record of their ancestor. Perez was the father of Hezron. Hezron was the father of Ram. Ram was the father of Amminadab. Amminadab was the father of Nahshon. Nahshon was the father of Solomon. Solomon was the father of Boaz. Boaz was the father of Obed. Obed was the father of Jesse. Jesse was the father of David. 1 Chronicles chapter 2 verse 9. From Judah's grandson Hezron to David. The sons of Hezron were Jeremiah, Ram, and Caleb. Ram was the father of Amminadab. Amminadab was the father of Nahshon, a leader of Judah. Nahshon was the father of Solomon. Solomon was the father of Boaz. Boaz was the father of Obed. Obed was the father of Jesse. Jesse's first son was Eliab. His second was Abinadab. His third was Shemiah. His fourth was Nathaniel. His fifth was Radiah. His sixth was Azim, and his seventh was David. Their sisters were named Zariah and Abigail. Zariah had 3 sons named Abishai, Joab, and Asahel. Abigail married a man named Jether, an Ishmaelite, and they had a son named Amasa. Descendants of Hezron's son Caleb. Hezron's son Caleb had sons from his wife Azabah and from Jerioth. Her sons were named Jesher, Shabab, and Ardan. After Azabah died, Caleb married Ephrathah, and they had a son named Hur. Hur was the father of Uri. Uri was the father of Bazallah. When Hezron was 60 years old, he married Gilead's sister, the daughter of Machir. They had a son named Sagab. Sagab was the father of Jair, who ruled 23 years in the land of Gilead. But Gershur and Aram captured the towns of Jair and also took Kanath and its 60 surrounding villages. All these were descendants of Machir, the father of Gilead. Soon after Hezron died in the town of Caleb, Ephrathah, his wife Abijah, gave birth to a son named Asher, the father of Tekoa. Descendants of Hezron's son Jeremiah. The sons of Jeremiah, the oldest son of Hezron, was Ram, the firstborn, Bana, Haran, Azam, and Ahisha. Jeremiah had a second wife named Atara. She was the mother of Anam. The sons of Ram, the oldest son of Jeremiah, was Maas, Jamin, and Eker. The sons of Ammon were Shammai and Jadai. The sons of Shemaiah were Nadab and Abishur. The sons of Abishur and his wife Abihail were Ben and Malid. The sons of Nadab were Salad and Apam. Salad died without children, but Apam had a son named Ishai. The sons of Ishai was Sheshan. Sheshan had a descendant named Aliah. The sons of Jedi, Shemaiah's brother, were Jeth and Jonathan. Jether died without children, but Jonathan had two sons named Peleth and Zaza. These were all descendants of Jeremiah. Sheshan had no sons, though he did have daughters. He also had an Egyptian servant named Jaha. Sheshan gave one of his daughters to be the wife of Jaha, and they had a son named Attiah. Attiah was the father of Nathan. Nathan was the father of Zabad. Zabad was the father of Ephla. Ephla was the father of Obed. Obed was the father of Jehu. Jehu was the father of Azariah. Azariah was the father of Helaz. Helaz was the father of Elasa. Elisa was the father of Sismia. Sismia was the father of Shalom. Shalom was the father of Jechamiah. Jechamiah was the father of Elishama. Descendants of Hezron's son Caleb. The descendants of Caleb, the brother of Jeremiah, included Mesha, the firstborn, who became the father of Ziph. Caleb's descendants also included the sons of Marashah, the father of Hebron. The sons of Hebron were Korah, Tapah, Rakim, and Shammah. Shammah was the father of Raham. Raham was the father of Joachim. Rakim was the father of Shemaiah. The son of Shemaiah was Moan. Moan was the father of Beth-Zor. Caleb's concubine Ephah gave birth to Haran, Moza, and Gazas. Haran was the father of Gazas. The sons of Jadiah were Regem, Jotham, Geshan, Palet, Ephah, and Shaph. Another of Caleb's concubines, Mecca, gave birth to Shaber and Tarhana. She also gave birth to Shah, the father of Mamania, and Shava, the father of Bana, and Gibeah. Caleb also had a daughter named Aksa. These were all the descendants of Caleb. The sons of Caleb's son Hur. The sons of Hur, the oldest son of Caleb's wife, Ephrathah, were Shabal, the founder of Kiriath Jearim, Salma, the founder of Bethlehem, and Herath, the founder of Beth-Gader. The descendants of Shabal, the founder of Kiriath Jearim, were Heriel, half the Manahathites, and the families of Kiriath Jearim, the Ithites, Perthites, Shamathites, and Meshrites, from whom came the people of Zara and Eshtaol. The descendants of Salma were the people of Bethlehem, the Nephathites, Atroth, Beth Joab, the other half of the Manahathites, the Zorites, and the families of scribes living at Jabaz, the Tirathites, Shemiathites, and Succothites. All these were Kenites who descended from Hamath, the father of the family of Rechab. Other descendants of Judah. The descendants of Judah were Perez, Hezron, Carmi, and Shobal. Shobal's son Reiah was the father of Jahath. Jahath was the father of Ammoniah and Lahad. These are the families of the Zarathites. The descendants of Atam were Jezreel, Ishmael, Adbash, his sister Hazalaphani, Penuel, the father of Gadol, and Ezer, the father of Hasha. These were the descendants of Hur, the firstborn of Ephrathite, the ancestor of Bethlehem. Asher, the father of Tekoa, had two wives named Helah and Nara. Nara gave birth to Ahazam, Hefer, Tamanai, and Hahashtari. Helah gave birth to Zerath, Izhar, Ethnan, and Kaz, who became the ancestor of Anam, Zobaba, and all the families of Ahaha, son of Haram. There was a man named Jabaz who was more honorable than any of his brothers. His mother named him Jabaz because his birth had been so painful. He was one who prayed to the God of Israel. Oh, that you would bless me and expand my territory. Please be with me in all I do and keep me from all trouble and pain. And God grant him his request. Caleb, the brother of Shahar, was the father of Mehir. Mehir was the father of Eshton. Eshton was the father of Beth Rapha, Pasia, and Tahina. Tahina was the father of Ir-Nahash. They were the descendants of Rekha. The descendants of Kenaz were Othniel, and Syria. Daniel's sons were Athath, and Monathai. Monathai was the father of Ophrah. Syria was the father of Joab or Job, the founder of the Valley of Craftsmen, so called because because they were craftsmen. The sons of Caleb, son of Zaphanan, were Uri, Ella, and Nam. The sons of Allah were Kenaz. The sons of Jahalalel were Zepha, Teriah, and Esra. The sons of Ezra were Jether, Mered, Jepher, and Jalon. One of Merar's wives became the mother of Ephraim. The mother of Miriam, Shemaiah, and Ishba, the father of Eshtemoa. He married a woman from Judah who became the mother of Jared, the father of Gedor, Heber, the father of Soko, and Jekathiel, the father of Zanoah. Mered also married Bethia, a daughter of Pharaoh, and she bore him children. Hodiah's wife was the sister of Nohab. One of her sons was the father of the Keilah the Garmite, and another was the father of Eshtemoa the Maacathite. The sons of Shemam were Ammon, Renah, Benhana, and Telon. The descendants of Ishai were Zahath and Ben-Zahath. Descendants of Judah's sons Shelah was one of Judah's sons. The descendants of Shelah were the father of Laka, Lada, the father of Mersha, the families of linen workers at Beth Ashbea, Joachim, the men of Kozabad, and Joash and Saraph, who ruled over Moab, and Jeshabeam. These names all came from the ancient records. They were the pottery makers who lived in Natam and Gedora. They lived there and worked for the king. And 1 Samuel chapter 1, Elkanah and his family. There was a man named Elkanah who lived in Ramah in the region of Zoph in the hill country of Ephraim. He was the son of Jeroham, son of Elihu, son of Tohu, son of Zoph of Ephraim. Elkanah had two wives, Hannah and Peninnah. Peninnah had children, but Hannah did not. Each year, Elkanah would travel to Shiloh to worship and sacrifice to the Lord of Heaven's army at the tabernacle. The priests of the Lord at that time were the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas. One of the days, Elkanah lived or presented his sacrifice. He would give portions of the meat to Peninnah and each of her children, and though he loved Hannah, he would give her only one choice portion because the Lord has given her no children. So Peninnah would taunt Hannah and make fun of her because the Lord has kept her from having children. Year after year, it was the same. Peninnah would taunt Hannah as they went to the tabernacle. Each time, Hannah would be reduced to tears and would not even eat. Why are you crying, Hannah? Elkanah would ask. Why aren't you eating? Why be downhearted just because you have no children? You have me. Isn't that better than having 10 sons? And that's the end for today. I'm sorry, that was a lot of name reading that I did not want to do, but it's necessary because, yeah, anyways, it doesn't matter. The part that does matter is the relationship between Penina and Hannah, and the reason why it's interesting to me is because like Penina seems to have everything she ever wanted. She has children. She has a husband who seems to love her. Maybe not like, maybe she may not be the favorite, but like she has a loving husband. And so in doing so, she kind of got cocky and starts to taunt somebody who is who is close to her, and then like making her feel really bad about who she is, and that makes Hannah cry. And just with that, it's like that's our sometimes we can get caught up with how with everything that we have, and then we start to be cocky about it in a sense where we are very unaware. We are so unaware of other people's emotions, other people's traumas, where we are willing to flaunt our blessings instead of receiving our blessings with humbleness. And so by flaunting it, you make everybody know like how much you've been blessed by God. And there's nothing wrong with acknowledging God has blessed you, but the way you go about it is really important, that you don't do it in a way that's putting down people, because if you do that, then God will not receive that well. For He despises those who are prideful and things. We have to come to the table with a humble posture. Whenever we ask God for things, we have to come into His presence with a humble posture. But yeah, that's just something that stood out to me. And then it's interesting how Akana did not answer Hannah did not answer Akanaya's question, because he's kind of forcing her to say what he wants to hear. He said, "You have me. Isn't that better than having 10 sons?" And I don't really fully understand the extent of like what happens if Hannah rejects, like saying no, it is better to have 10 sons than to have you. Maybe that gets her in trouble. But yeah, it's like that's the thing, like stop asking people to ask questions about you that you will know will raise you up above others. It is so frustrating to me. It's like saying, "Oh, what grade do you have?" After hearing somebody got like a like I'm hearing like no, like just go about saying like, "Oh, what grade do you have?" And they say 94, or like no 94, like an F, and you out of nowhere just say, "Oh, I got a 98." It's like nobody asked you for that, so why are you sharing information that's so non-beneficial to the other person? The other person did not ask you to share, and so don't be like Akana in a sense where like he's asking a question in a sense so that he can hear his own answer, so that he may hear the answer that he wants to hear, which is self-praise, self-awareness, which is very prideful in the sight of God. But there's not like a whole lot to get out of, since it's just a bunch of chronological names and stuff. That's why there's a book called the First Chronicles. So other than that, I don't have anything else to share. So may you guys go and walk with God and have a good time at the solar eclipse. Solar eclipse, yeah, and just see how cool that is and stuff. So may you guys go and walk with God.